like to call the school board meeting for Tuesday, July 5th, 2022 for the Des Moines Public Schools to order. Ms. Rivera, would you please take the roll?
Yes, Ms. Alonso Diaz. Here. Ms. Bradley. Ms. Caldwell Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Knox.
Here.
Ms. Martirana. Here. Ms. Norris.
Here.
Ms. Sawyer.
Here.
Before beginning our meeting this evening, I'd like to do a quick check-in with my board colleagues who are willing to share anything about how they're feeling moving into today's meeting, or anything that's happened that you'd like to share that might pertain to your lack of participation or your full participation this evening. How's that? Anyone like to hop in? It's warm, for sure.
Staying warm. I'm definitely not as prepared as I should be. Been focusing on some things I need to take care of for myself and my family recently, which is much needed. So that has been my focus lately.
Understood. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Okay, we will move on with the balance of our agenda. The next item on our agenda is approval of our agenda for this evening. May I have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda?
Martirano, so moved.
Nora, second.
I'd like to pull item 4D. I have a conflict of interest, so I will need to abstain on that, so we'll vote on that separately. Absent that, we have a motion to approve the agenda as published, minus item 4D. Any additional discussion? Hearing
Just
none.
a friendly amendment, that's D4 rather than 4D.
Yes, thank you. D4, thank you. Please vote. The agenda is approved, 6-0. The next item is the public forum. We provide speakers at the forum an opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes regarding items that are not on the board agenda. If anyone wishes to speak during this forum, please email rosa.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Speakers will be called individually, and we ask that they please state their name and address prior to providing their comments. Students and minors do not have to provide their address. Guests of the board are encouraged to speak to matters relating to the programs, services, and operations of DMPS. Please remember that Iowa law prohibits us from discussing specific employees or their job performance. Please avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those types of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. Thank you for your support of our school district. We appreciate your input. Do we have any speakers? Okay.
Yes, we have one speaker, Brandon Oliver. You may approach the podium.
As Mr. Oliver comes forward, as a reminder to the board and public, this forum is not a time for board engagement and discussion, as it is our obligation to discuss only matters posted in the public agenda for the sake of transparency and the opportunity afforded to all community stakeholders. Matters requiring attention will receive appropriate staff and/or board follow-up at a time after the meeting. Mr. Oliver.
Hi, Brandon Oliver. I live at 1400 Walnut Street, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309. Just for the future, I'm hoping that a pop filter can be added to the public forum mic, because plosives sound like this. Also, I'm a big one for integrity. And so if somebody says that they're going to meet with me, I hope they follow through. Most of you have. Unfortunately, there's been a couple that I've asked for a meeting, I've been told there would be a meeting, and then it just doesn't happen. So it's very frustrating to me. I want to talk about referral data. I know that there's an interim guardrail in the works, and we want to reduce those numbers. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I'm wondering if restorative practices can be added to our process of writing referrals. Because anybody can write a referral. Any adult can write whatever they want. And there's a lot of teachers who get really frustrated that nothing comes of it. But if we're actually being purposeful at building those relationships afterwards, we might not see repeated referrals as much. Some teachers might stop writing referrals if they feel that they have to be a part of the process of restoring. And we also need to see what the adult's responsibility is in that. I know this is a radical thing to think about, but could students have a voice in that referral? Or is it purely a power thing where only the teacher's opinion matters? And if that could end up being a positive thing, maybe it could be echoed in how adults are written up as well. So that's all. Thanks.
Do we have any other speakers this evening?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is district recognitions. Interim Superintendent Smith, do we have any?
No recognition.
Recognitions. Thank you.
Recognitions, thank you.
No problem. The next item on our agenda is the consent items. We allow any person the opportunity to speak to the board for up to 5 minutes following the presentation of an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak to an agenda item, please email rosie.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Remarks must be germane to the agenda, and we ask that you avoid references to personalities and character attacks, as those types of comments serve no productive purpose. We appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in discussion or deliberation with the speaker regarding comments made to agenda items. Discussion and deliberation will remain among the board members at the board table, with speakers' comments informing said discussion, deliberation, and determination as deemed appropriate. Do we have any speakers?
No, we do not.
We have no speakers. Ms. Alonso Diaz, I believe you have the consent agenda this evening, so we'll accept that. Absent item D4.
I do. I move that the board approve the consent items in accordance with the recommended action for each item on the consent agenda, including bills previously authorized, certified, and approved for payment by the board secretary in the amount of $7,114,536.83.
We have a motion on the approval of the consent. Is there a second?
Nora, second.
We have a motion from Ms. Alonso Diaz and a second from Ms. Norris. Any board discussion?
I would just like to make a comment that items 6 and 7 are the reading reports, and I just want to reference for the community that we discussed those in work session at our last meeting. So we have had a conversation around those reports so that they're aware we're just not putting them on consent agenda and not having a conversation. Thank you.
Thanks for that reminder. Any other comments before moving to a vote on the consent agenda? Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Before moving to items of privilege, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve item D for preschool 28E agreements for fiscal '23.
Martirano, so moved.
Nora, second.
We have a motion from Mortarano and a second from Norris. Any discussion on the preschool 28E agreements? I'll be abstaining on this vote as the Oak Ridge organization and our Oak Academy preschool is a subcontractor for the UPK program. All right, please vote. Motion passes 5 with 1 abstention. Chair's report. I don't have anything to report this evening. We will be moving as soon as our meeting adjourns into a work session. I did want to just extend apologies on behalf of our chair. She had a family medical emergency that she needed to attend to, so instead you got me tonight. So with that, any board members have anything they'd like to share before we move to the superintendent's report? Welcome back, Jackie. Interim Superintendent.
The only thing I'll add is that we are in the midst of hiring, and if you are looking for employment in Des Moines Public Schools, we would love to have you in all facets.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We appreciate your participation and attendance. The board will take a very brief recess, and then we will move into our work session. Without objection, our meeting is adjourned.